Crisis of Infinite Twilights by Defender 2222. Chapter 7. Captain Sparkle. This way! Skillet shouted, rushing down the busy Camelot Street, slipping under the legs of any pony that might have gotten in their way. They were, luckily, not finding a panicked crowd, as most of Camelot were used to chaos happening. In fact, Celestia had begun offering punch cards, 5 against, get a free sub. Come on! Skulu, we all know which way to go, Spike complained. There aren't that many pillars of magic around. Yeah, Kate said, flying overhead. Just this one in the daily 216 one from Glynis Lab. Boom! Damn, down Fubby, stop blowing up! Let us scream somewhere off in the distance. Huh, it was a minute early today, Sonny said, glancing at a nearby clock. Fine, I do have to staying on the farm, Sapapple complained as she shoved sent uppercuts out of her way. You find other trees, not one of those is sap. But I still ask of you to shut your yap, Tricor grunted, annoyed with her alternate self and constant complaining. Me, Twilight said from her perch on Shining Armor's back. You are such a grumpy. The filly's eyes lit up. She quickly goes to her flank, only to sigh when she saw no rhyme on a dime key mark. Shit. Coulson rolled in his eyes. I should have agreed to be the liaison for the God Squad. Trust me, Shiny said. You're better off staying away from our madness. The large group turned a corner, only to skid to a stop, nearly tumbling over each other as they came upon a guard stationed at a roadblock. Oh! The royal guard said. None shall pass! Skillu tried to adapt her most innocent look. Please let us through! No, the guard said, and your cute eyes will not work on me, for I've been trained to resist all methods of infiltration. Well, if we bribe you, Spike asked, get me a large surfy cup and I can get you some caramel. That will not work either. There's only one way you may pass. And how's that? Skillet asked. You must stop me. The group looked at each other, then back at the guard. Say that again, soldier, Sai asked, wondering for the 100th time why he was the only sane pony in Celestia's royal guard. You must ask me a question, and if I fail to answer it correctly, you may pass. But choose well, civilians, for you may only ask one. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard, Spike complained. Who came up with that idea? Princess Celestia, the guard said. Her Highness loves game shows. She was even on The Price is Right once. Several months ago. Princess Celestia, what do you think the price of the toaster is? Dukari, the host asked. 200 bits, Celestia said. I'm sorry, but the price is 150. No, I hereby decree the price is 200 bits. Celestia laughed as the chime was off, signaling that she had guessed the price correctly. I hope I get to play Plinko. Well, I hereby decree I get to play Plinko, Celestia said sternly, glaring at the host as he weakly motioned for them to get rid of the yodeling hiker game and bring out Plinko. School Chapter 10. Deep in thought while the others began to debate each other on what questions they should ask. How does Pinkie Pie do what she does? The guard blinked, swallowed, then sadly stepped aside. You may pass. Nice work, Spike said, as he hurried past the blushing guard. Thanks, Skulu said. She spotted the pillar of magic, but, instead of running towards it, turned to her left and began hurrying along the road. There! I sense the next Twilight over there! You sure? Get in line, maggots! Twilight's voice rang out ahead of them. Pretty sure, Skulu said, as they hurried over to a square filled with royal guards. Standing on a raised platform was a new Twilight, this one marching back and forth as she paraded the guards. She wore the same armor as Celestia's private guard. Only hers was colored differently. Darker, like the inside of a deep cave. Her face was stern as she marched up and down, glaring at the royal guards. That must be Countess Sparkle, Coulson said dryly. Huh, she's a little short-tempered to be Celestia Trooper, Keane said, tilting her head. You! The captain shouted at the guard. Where are you from? The Crystal Empire, sir! Ma'am, sir! The Crystal Empire? The only things that come from the Empire is butts and sluts! Keane shrugged and whispered, she has us there. Are you a dog soldier? Captain Sparkle shouted at the guard. No, sir, ma'am, sir! That must make you a slut then, right, Private? Private dancer, dances for money, loves the singles, makes it rain! Twilight let down guard soldier's face. What is your name, Private? My name is Leo, sir, ma'am, sir. The only dancing I used to do was across the sand. I danced across the dusty land. And when she sighs, she really shows you all she can. Colton blusts off and blushed. We are not singing this time, okay? He had to Sparkle, who had noticed the Grissom rifle, nodded to herself before moving back to the platform. Now then, I know that all of you aren't happy that my Rangers and I come for these war games, but you are just going to have to suck it up, Sally! Sally isn't here today! She called in sick! One of the guards shouted. Captain Sparkle ignored this and continued her pacing. Now that I set out the magic pillar, my Rangers will begin to make their way into the city. It is your duty to detect them and ambush them. You must take them out before they take you out. My Rangers are tasked to make it into Carolot Castle. Ooh, blood changelings? Captain Sparkle frowned. The changelings aren't an imminent threat. Yeah, they are, Shine said, stepping forward, making his presence known. They built an amusement park near Sabrika. The food is really overpriced there. Captain Sparkle let down, rushed towards Shine, glaring at her older brother. I told you I could handle these war games on my own! What are you... She paused, looking down at Skulu. Why is Nocturne still here? Nocturne, Skulu said in confusion. Captain Sparkle tilted her head. Nocturne, your mom? She went to Spike. Her frown burrowing further confusion, while Skulu tried to figure out when her mom had changed her name. And what is Miss Rarity's little Drake doing here? I'm really liking her reality more and more, Spike said with glee, rubbing his claws together. Captain Sparkle, are me and Rarity married, or are we just dating? Captain Sparkle swallowed once, twice, 3 times before laying out a horrifying gagging noise. What? Be prepared for a mess. Her reality like an SNS, Tricorica said with a smirk. You and your mother? Ew! Just like that, Clay said, leaping out, shining out its back and landing before Captain Sparkle. Cool armor. You have some nice eyes. Or a sword. I like a sword. Or a mace would be cool too. Ooh! Maybe a morning star. I used to have one once, but technically I used it in a game of Headspaces and Humans. I'm a level 53 architect! Captain Sparkle looked at Twilight, then back to her brother. What magic is this? Crazy kind, Shiny said. We have a pamphlet, Spike said heavily, holding one out to the captain. Little pervert. Captain Sparkle muttered before grasping the pamphlet and looking over. Well, Shiny, looks like you've gone a long way towards interfering with my war games. Huh? Captain Sparkle spun her a hose and marched back towards the soldiers that were still waiting for their next orders. I told you I could do this on my own. I know you disagree with the scenario I have chosen and wanted to do one based on the changeling threat. But I believe that rogue bands of anarchists are a greater threat to Equestria. We will be doing the war games my way! She puffed out her chest, trying to look brave. But it was clear to all of them that this Twilight was nervous about something. Twilight, you don't understand, Kane said, stepping towards the perfect captain. Something has happened. Yes! You are all trying to take over my war games! She stopped her hose with frustration, took a deep breath, making her emotions. In a softer, much more powerful voice, she said, I know you are worried about me. I know you think that I am letting my guilt about what happened to Princess Celestia cloud my vision. I know you think I'm going to be all skiz coming back to Canterlot. But you need to let me do this on my own. Shining, I am still a captain. Those Rangers and I have been doing good work. We deserve to have a little pay for it towards us. I am not going to shatter being back in Carolot. Twilight, Shining said just as softly. I don't know what happened. I have no clue. I'm not your brother. At least, not the one you know. Captain Sparkle opened her mouth, but Shining waved her off. Just listen. And so the group laid out for her everything. What happened to the real Twilight? How there were alternate Twilights running around. What Skulu and Spike's roles were. Zappa eventually spoke of her own world, as did Twilight Sakura. Coulson pointing out the differences between their worlds, such as a newspaper that clearly had a Princess Celestia in it. The article detailed how Celestia had spent the day before trying to keep her brother Tidal from raising the Opera House to the ground for the poor performance of the Magic Flute, and not any reference to any war games. Keynes described what their Twilight was like, and Shining asked the soldiers to back them up, which they were happy to do. Captain Sparkle stared at all of them after this, then burst into laughter. She's lost it, Spike complained. Captain Sparkle wiped away a tear. Oh, I haven't laughed like this in a long time. She turned around and clicked her hooves together, rolling her eyes as she did so. Well done, well done. You almost had me. I'm sure you'll all be rewarded Grumpies this year. Grumpies, of course, being the annual award given out to stage actors. It was a poorly named award. She turned back to Shiny and chuckled. Nice try. But I remember the hazing from boot camp. While this entire show was quite well thought out, I am not falling for it. She marched back towards the platform. Now, if we could get back to the war games. This wasn't a prank, you stupid soldier! Skulu sighed. Captain Sparkle narrowed her eyes. I will be telling your mother about that potty mouth, little filly. You don't know my mother, you puppy face! You've really suck at insults. My arch enemy is a rich little snob in a tiara who thinks having tea at 4:30 is a scandal. Yes, I suck at it! Captain Sparkle rolled her eyes. Every pony, enough. I get it. You knew I was stressed about coming back here for the war games. Wanted to pull a prank on me to lighten the mood. Ha ha! But we have things to do. I know our words to you seem quite rank, but I tell you this. We pull no prank. Captain Sparkle shook her head. I admit that getting these three to dress like me was a nice touch, brother, but you overplayed your hand, or whatever. What sounds more likely? That I am from a different dimension and was transported here along with a dozen other Twilights? Or this is a prank? She has us there, Spike admitted. What else do we need to do to convince you? Skulu said in frustration, angry that this Twilight kept talking down to him. Do we need another Twilight to fall down from the sky? Something did fall down from the sky at the moment. It wasn't a Twilight, however, but a heavy slab of marble, ripped from a tall, opulent building right into square. Every pony turned, watching as a metallic, snake-like tentacle emerged from the hole in the building. Then another. Then another. The guards, being the cream of the crop of Celestia's royal guard, probably ran away, screaming for the elements of harmony to come and save them all. Shining hung his head in shame at that. Soon, three metal tentacles were grasping the edge of the hole, while a fourth appeared with a large bag of bits. What in tarnation? Zaphebel said as the figure controlling the tentacles exited the building. Okay, so are we going with Alfred Magnolia, or are we going with cliche German accent? Well, considering the fact that last time we did a Spider-Man-like story, we used Doc Ock for a German accent. Why not? What do they have here? The strange pony said. One of the medical tackles attached to her back, moving towards her face. I think a pair of sunglasses she was wearing, so she could get a better look at the group. She was wearing a long brown coat, and her mane was frazzled. She hadn't run a brush through it in weeks. She also startled with the fact that her horn was broken in half, the upper part flopping about uselessly. A son of soldiers, huh? I suppose the princess will think, yes, will stop me. Mayor's tentacles lashed out, grabbing a column from the building and ripping it free, sending it crashing to the ground, forcing Skulu and her group to leap out of the way. Well, I'd like to see you try. No army has any hope of defeating Doc Twilight! Okay, that will work, Cat Spark said, dryly as her heart glowed as he pulled out her sword. Chapter 8 Doc Twilight. You know, this is one time I like to be in Kerala and not have a disaster to happen! Spike shouted, shielding his head as bits of masonry flew about him. Instead, someone to ask, some peace and quiet instead of pieces flying at me, trying to silence me forever! I'm just glad that for once the chaos isn't my fault, Skulu exclaimed, hiding behind a trash can. Well, technically it is, since you are the one that caused all these Twilights to appear, Spike pointed out. Yeah, but shut up! Skulu grumbled. It's Twilight! Skulu tackled the purple filly, who had grabbed an abandoned sword in her teeth, and was preparing to rustle to heave bow. What were you thinking? Skulu screamed. Save your Kerala King, Mike, Twilight said happily. Huh. So, big up for them, and it's all bold of a death wish. Wallbreaker says he grabbed Twilight and Skulu and pulled him back behind the safety of the overturned fruit stand. Sis is also behind. It's not a death wish, Twilight complained, glancing over at the morning star. Her eyes grew wide with delight. Ooh, no! Skulu shrieked. You are not going out there! No, You are no fun, alternate dimensional Scootaloo, Twilight complained. My Scootaloo will rest out there and BOOM! Twilight Scootaloo, fourth wall breaker, and Spike stared at a large slab of concrete that smashed down only a few feet away from them. Ended up a bloody smear at the moments you went out in this? Spike asked. I could have totally dodged it. How can you be so pig-headed and not even concerned about... I swear you, Miss Applejack. I use apologies, don't I? Pretty much! Give up now! Colson shouted from the dumpster he was flying high. We have you surrounded! He poked his head up, only to duck down when Twilight threw a gargoyle statue at him. And not the good kind that are voiced by Keith David. That man has a gift. The guards that run off looked at Colson, silently wondered they shouldn't ask, who is this we you speak of? We are just... We are just a traveling group of circus performers. The villainous they are facing grabbed a chair and tossed it at the guard. The few remaining soldiers scurrying around with their tails stuck between their heads. Cowards! Captain Sparkles shouted before rushing towards her enemy, sword pulsing with magic. For Equestria! Dr. Twilight laughed, casually lowering herself to the ground, even as she battered the leader of Luna's Rangers to the side. Three of her tentacles glassing out, shining, cadence and shining, who attempted to get close enough to fire a blast of magic at her, while the fourth had raced into a bakery and grabbed a cup of coffee, bringing it over to the Mad Mare. You honestly think you peons could do a thing to stop me? Twilight took a sip of her coffee, thought for a moment before her fourth tentacle brought over some cream, which she added to the coffee. Taking another sip and finding it now to her satisfaction, Twilight smiled slightly, even as her tentacles grabbed Cadence and began tossing her about like she was a rag doll. Do not be absurd. She swung the pink alicorn at Captain Sparkle, once more forcing the warrior down. Your feeble brains lack the ability to comprehend my genius, let alone find a way to stop it. You'd be surprised at what I can comprehend, Captain Sparkle said, firing a bolt of magic at the manhole cover and lifting it up. The disc rocketed towards the back of Twilight's head, only for the evil Twilight to catch it with one of her clawed tentacles and crush it like it was paper cup. You look like me, but you're not me, Twilight said coolly. A clone, perhaps, but an inferior one. You're all attack and battle, and fail to use your frontal lobe as anything more than something to keep your thick skull from caving in. She turned and gave Captain Sparkle a dismissive snort, using one of her tentacles to flick away a discarded soda can. You are nothing more than a paper tiger against the storm. And I thought my sister was worthy, Shining muttered, firing a blast of medicine for it to villainous, only for her to easily deflect it with her tentacles. You uneducated baboon! Twilight said dryly. Do you think I did not come prepared to fight magic users? My tentacles are made from the finest magic-resistant steel in all of Ecclestia. Even Princess Celestial could not affect them. You know, normally I enjoy satanical action, Kay said, struggling to free herself. I feel like I should be in a schoolgirl uniform. Shining rushed forward, his sword glowing as he fired several impulses of magic. Let go of my wife! He snarled, attempting to buck Twilight in the face, looking bad way for his trouble. I don't want to hurt you, Twilight, but I will if you keep manhandling, or pony handling, or tentacle handling, I guess. You keep doing what you're doing! His magic flared, and much like Twilight did when she was in a fury, his mane began to sizzle. You're right, Twilight said with muted curiosity. Her fourth tentacle lowered her glasses, and Twilight stared at Shining for a moment before smirking. Of course, how further foolish of me. It is clear that this dimension is not my own. She put her sunglasses back on, two of the tentacles raising her up. Fourth tentacle grabbed onto a street lamp and used it like a club to send Shining flying overhead. His body crashed into a bridal shop, the manacles falling on top of him. Twilight walked towards Shining's fallen form, her third tentacle still causing Cadence, while the fourth reached through a window and forced Shining to look her in the eye. That's what explains why you're attempting to fight me, and not carrying behind that leg my shining armor you publishers lambasting that fool, Spider-Man! Yeah, goody for him, Shining grunted, firing off another blast at Twilight's face. The villain stumbled back, Dropping keys and startling in pain. Shining raced past her, pausing only to buck her in the face, before hurrying to the dazed keys and dragging her behind her overturned chariot. Twilight looked at her broken sunglasses, a bit of blood oozing down her forehead. That is going to cost you a rib, you odious malcontent! Twilight said. Hi, girl, Samuel said, pumping up in front of Twilight and bucking her chest. Listen, I'll get your anger. All these horror ponies got my head twisted too. But y'all don't see me running around like a weasel in a hen house. We get it, you rule! Spike shouted. You insufferable, odious daughter of a woman of ill character! Twilight bellowed. I don't think sounding almost right. You did saw one of them word books. A dictionary is what you speak, Twilight said, throwing a bottle at Twilight when she attempted to crush Sap Apple. You know, putting out these different inflections on my usual Twilight voice is not easy. Her eyes shattered. Pale green mist swirled around the tentacle attacked her. Twilight began to cough, her eyes wiring at the foul fumes that assaulted her sustenance. Get us to take her now. Lazy is weak. Camilla and Pensius burst out of the cloud, lashing out, striking the other two Twilights. I am never weak, my primitive sisters, Twilight snored. Coughing slightly, she tried to clear her lungs as Twicora's gas cloud. I am the great Dark Twilight, and with Spider-Man not here to stop me, I will finally achieve my goal. And what's that? Spike asked, only to go up when Twilight turned to stare down. If you don't mind telling us. Twilight laughed. This is that simple. I'm going to destroy your magic. The metaphysical power of the unicorns or the card game? Skill asked. The first one. Are you kidding me? Shining asked after a beat. You can't get rid of magic. Of course I can. Magic is a horrible thing. It makes ponies lazy and weak. Why bother expanding your mind and learning new things when you can just use magic to get what you want? Magic is the root of the world's problems, and when I wipe it away, I will bring a new era of peace. In Cressy, I will enter a new golden age, an age of the machine and of science! Twilight greased her subconsciously, testing her broken horn. Spike tilted his head. Somebody needs to get laid. I I have many relations, many times! Twilight stammered. Name one stallion you've been with, Scooter taunted, telling Donatiari. George! Twilight said. George, She looked at the shattered window, shining and flung through. George Glass! Yeah, this one's crazy. Colson said, rushing to an abandoned cannon, lighting a fuse. Fire in the hole! The cannon bucked, and Twilight blinked, as her tentacles were covered in blues, streamers, and glare. Who the hey sold the Royal Guard party cannons? Skulu complained. Better than pies, Shine grumbled. Twilight picked up one of the cannons and threw it at Spike, Skulu, and Twilight. The three just managed to dive away, though Skulu didn't notice the party cannon had a Pinky Court logo on it. Lawbreaker found himself separated from the kids, desperate by his efforts to get back to them, endlessly boxed by the villainess. I would be amazed right now, Twilight said sternly, tentacles slamming down the pavement as they stalked towards the dragon two Furies. But the cannon only proves my point. Science and technology will always be better than the path of magic. Magic makes one weak and complacent. Better to be strong and powerful. I dream of a world of years and assembly lines, creating a better Ecclesia, a stronger Ecclesia. Well, y'all hire me until the machine part, Apple said with a snort, leaping into the air, slamming her host into the heavy column. White marble worked back and forth before toppling down, nearly crushing the villainess. Tentacles managed to catch the column, only for Keys to zoom in and hug the mirror tightly. I don't know what happened to you to make you so angry, but you need to let love in your heart, Keys said sweetly. Magical aura surrounding Twilight. I do love. Twilight, before her head shook and her eyes regained focus. I love my tentacles. She grabbed Keys' legs began to pull, making her crying out in pain. Shining let out a bellow of rage and raced toward her, only to be pinned by Twilight's third tentacle. Fourth darted about, forcing Coulson to Kids and Wallbreaker to back away. And I do so love the sound of pathetic pink princesses being plucked like petunia petals. Kaboom! He fell to the ground, crying in pain. Shining rose, eyes trembling. He made his way over to his wife, finding sure she was okay. He knew his heart chaos was an alicorn that was basically indestructible. But Twilight's attack had left the stallion sinking in fright. As for the terrible villainess, she was moaning herself. Her metal arms waved about, trying to right herself. Blasted her crashing into a pottery barn, half buried crappy clay sculptures. I don't know who you are, a voice called out. And I don't know why you're wearing my face. I won't let you hurt another pony. Twilight? Skulu said, shocked. King's shining savior resembled their Twilight more than any of their Twilights. Mrs. Griffin encountered. But she wasn't an alicorn. From the looks of it, this Twilight was a spinning image of the purple mare who first come to Ponyville and discovered the elements of harmony and the power of friendship. She stood tall and proud, eyes narrowed, a slight smile on her face, as she stared down the villainess that was attacking Carolot. Another weak peon, Twilight said, her tentacles finally lifting herself from her rumble. What do you do? She asked, rolling her eyes, as she moved towards this new Twilight, gesturing lazily at the others. We have a mystic, the soldier, a country bumpkin, and a baby. You! Twilight said out of annoyance. I'm not a baby. I used a big Philly pie and everything. What do I do? The newest Twilight asked, a slight smile forming on her lips. I take down villains like you. Twilight laughed. You got to the cheap shot with magic. It will not happen again. Twilight's tentacles moved in to shield her. I removed that burning appendage from the Arcadium and then set it in your rectum. It wasn't magic, the new Twilight said. For the first time, they all noticed that there was one difference between this Twilight and the original one. A simple green bauble on the base of her horn. The ring began to glow as the new Twilight rose in the air, her eyes shining with emerald energy. Be right back, folks. I gotta get something. Okay, I got my ring. Let's do this. It brightest day, it blackest night. The ring flashed, a green energy raced along the newcomer's body. No evil shall escape my sight! The energy began to fade, revealed a solid black and green bodysuit with white boots. Upon her chest, a white circle appeared on a green frame, by two solid green lines lay within. Let those who worship evil's might! The emerald aura surrounded the newest Twilight. Beware my power! Several green constructs resembling this Twilight's friends, all dressed in different superhero costumes, surrounded her. Green Lantern's light! Well, that was one of the more awesome moments I've ever had a chance to do on this show. And can you believe that we've been through this whole entire, we've been together for about, 6 years, and we've never had a chance to do the Green Lantern off? And I never thought I got a chance to use my Green Lantern rings. Yes, I said rings. I own the whole rainbow. See you tomorrow.